Here we are. It's going on. It's heartwarming. Those players are so good. Parting, rank 9 in the Korean circuit of the ESL Pro Tour. Spawning into the top right hand side in the blue as Protoss. This is Parting. His enemy, his opponent on the bottom left hand side. He is rank 11 currently. His name is Solar, currently playing for Kaisi Gaming. And yeah, I'm happy to see this CVP. A little bit nervous, to be quite frankly with you. So if I'm lost for words, that's just because of you. I cannot cast if somebody's watching. That's really a goddamn problem. Alright. Parting is already harassing around with that probe. Make sure to see what's going on. He does know that there's no hatchery on the low ground. He should anticipate that Solar is taking the very aggressive hatch position on the low ground already. The advantage of this hatchery position is you can creep out into the map very fast. There's a shorter rush distance towards your enemy, so if you want to play aggressive, do it like this. Your reinforcements will be much faster on the enemy side, and you have it easier to gain map control as long as you play it aggressive. Don't take this hatchery if you would like to step back and macro hard. That's kind of an opening for the enemy then. So yeah, in terms of openings, Parting did play a gateway into Nexus, into Cybernetics Core, and from here he can either go Stargate, which would be usual. He can go for a Twilight Council, Resonating Glaives, Adepts, or straight up DTs or stuff like. Alright. That's still unusual. Well, let's see what he's doing there. So far, Solar seems to have a normal playstyle. He is getting his third hatchery at the natural position right now. And yeah, the Overlord is still watching what is going on here. Parting is now building a Stalker, so he needs to back up and get on the high ground here. He would still have some kind of vision on this wall, so he will know what ground units Parting will be building. And from that, you can anticipate most of the build order he's facing. By the way, I introduced Solar as the Shirt Eater. There once was a tournament, I guess it was Summer something, and both players had a camera on, and for some reason Solar really started munching on his t-shirt. I was mind blown, and it's actually listed on the Liquipedia page now. Under trivias, and there's even a clip. I mean, I've seen stuff in StarCraft 2 within the last 5 years of casting, but that is still very unusual. Alright, Resonating Glaives for Adepts, 45% more attack speed for Adepts, so this is almost 50% more DPS. That is kind of like 2 Adepts feel like free. And 2 Adept shots already one-shot a Zergling. So we see Roachworn by Solar. He is producing 12 Lings. Probably defensive, because there's always the potential of a couple of Adepts shading over and making their way into the drones would be very devastating for the Zerg. And Parting is taking his third while doing so. For Parting, it's very interesting to not lose those Adepts. You either trade, very efficient, or you don't trade at all. Oh, he takes a shade! He is going in there! But he is caught up between the first spawning roaches, and the Lings had a very good position, so no Adept gets out alive. So what you would like to do if you're going Resonating Glaives is you would like to have your adepts stick around for as long as possible. But now he lost the first 6 so quickly. Look at the numbers. 34 Zergs on the map. Roaches in production. We have 4 Queens on the map. And he is now pushing towards the third base of Parting. It could be very hard to actually take this. Look at the map. I only see red dots moving over. The Stalker will not do very much. They are mostly produced against the Roaches, but the Ravagers with 6 range will be a huge problem. We don't have any shield battery at the natural wall. And imagine Parting just not losing its first 6 adepts. Could actually be doing something against this push. At least the Lings would be gone by now, but he has nothing to fight this. 6 minutes and it's over. It's 1-0 for Solar already. What an entrance to this best of 5 series. He did go for kind of unconventional opener here with the Twilight Council opener, Resonating Glaives. Played it very aggressively, but he was punished so bad. At this point I wouldn't recommend to do this again. Koreans are they play a little bit different from Europeans. Europeans are like, sometimes you feel like they're static. Like, out of 10 times the Protoss are tempted to play Stargate. The Koreans are very much more creative with their build orders. They switch around a lot. They play more different play styles more often. This is at least what I feel. So I wouldn't consider Parting to play Twilight Council again. He could do that just for that reason, because Solar might not expect this. He's already taking the aggressive hatchery on the low ground again. Better creep spread, better chances of gaining map control as long as you play it aggressive. The shorter rush distance, if you would like to be aggressive on the third base of the Protoss. Thing is, Pride of Altaris is fairly bigger than 2000 atmospheres in terms of rush distance. But that's kind of, they could play the same style again. A little bit of harassment right here. It ain't much, but it's honest work. That probe is just making sure that 1 or 2 drones have to go the wider way, because you only can mine with 2 workers from 1 mineral patch. Doesn't matter which color it has. So the probe is kind of blocking those mineral patches, and the drone is like, hey, okay, this is too crowded. I need to get my minerals from somewhere else. And the way the drone has to travel longer is basically your gain as a Protoss. First Stalker in production. He's going for the Twilight Council again. Parting, you mad boy. You mad boy. Alright, alright. Robotics facility again. That could be a Warp Prism DT opener, but I would like to put my finger on this. But Parting is a play. He's crazy enough to do that. He likes to have fun when he's playing. So sometimes he's just playing stupid stuff which you're not expecting at all. And he's going for the DT shrine. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Alright, alright. Get your popcorn ready, because this is going to be either awesome or awesome. Thing is, with this build order, you have to deal damage as a Protoss. If those DTs don't deal damage, or at least back it up with an Archon drop, if you just lose those DTs without any damage, you're basically dead. You invested so much resources in this build that you need to get value out of this. Sometimes it's even enough that the Zerg is panicking. We see a Roach Warren coming up from Solar. Usually the lair is fast enough, so we have an Overseer ready, and the morphin time till the first Overseer is there This is usually the time window for DTs to be efficient. Those are like 15 seconds you have to punish your enemy for not having detection. So Solar is now gaining a spore on the third. There's none in the main. On the, let's call it the natural expansion. It's just coming up. So there is no detection right now. There's no layer coming up. So Solar is relying on those spores. And that one is not finishing up right. And he still has some adepts with him to distract Solar. First queen is going down versus the little DT group. Oh my god. Okay, this hurts. This hurts a lot. That Ravager is so expensive. The Spore's still not ready. Queens are transfusing themselves already, but their energy is gone. War Prison is getting a couple of good shots, but there are still shear points. And as long as this War Prison looks healthy, Party can just micro around with this. Now losing one adept. It's not perfectly played, but he already killed so much. 2 queens, a Ravager, a Roach, and a couple of Lings, and he still can roam around with those units. Solar's Lair. He just started it! He just started it! It's so far away. This could be over. There's a Ling run by. 2 Parting's third base, and there are 2 sentries. He could drop down a force field, and now he's safe. The Lings cannot deal anything. Yeah, while he is losing 5 drones at the same time. That's a very unpleasant position to be in. Wow. So we have Blink and +1 coming up. No resonating glaives yet. These TTs thing. They are not about to be stopped. The Roaches are too slow right now. Lair's not finished, so there's no Roach speed. He doesn't have any Lings or any sufficient number of Lings close enough to punish those DTs fast enough. Now the first Overseer gets more. But look at that. We're already having a move out by Parting. 7 Stalkers, 9 Stalkers. He still has the War Prison to have quick reinforcement in the front. And as long as he's juggling around with his units and make sure that War Prison is alive, he can just end escape from here. Just 1 lava at the moment on Solar's side. The income still looks fine. But he needs to be very careful because Blink Stalkers are very hard to catch. Those Roaches have no speed, so how should he engage this army? And Parting basically has 2 Blinks with that War Prison. What's that? Oh, the DTs are going into economy while the Stalkers are distracting. This is... wow. 1-1. Parting is evening out this series already after 7 minutes. So that was a short time being in lead for Solar. Spawning on the bottom left hand side. This is Parting! And on the right hand side, the Zerg! In the red, this is Solar. And oh, Blackboard, yes! I always every time I forgot this. First of all, the map looks great. I like the layout. But I'm still not sure about this. Those are slow zones. There's an inhibited zone generator generates a field, which you see with this glimmering red light, and it slows you down by 33.3%. It doesn't sound much, to be fair, but if your enemy is using ranged units and you have Lings, for example, and you try to catch anything that is at this space and you need to go because you need the surface or your army is so big, you're losing so much time, and it can really make a turnaround. We have a close air spawn, so to say, on this map because one of the bases is on the left, one is on the right, and the distance is very short. So on this map, I really expect air units. Usually the Protoss is going for at least 1 Stargate, getting a couple of Oracles, making sure to gain map control, killing a couple of probes and queens. This is no real harm to the Zerg. He is used to that. But he could go for double Stargate, producing Void Rays and going full ham with those with speed and upgrades. And those can be hard to catch, even though we have those inhibitor zones. On the other hand, Solar could play Mutas. Mutas on his EVP are always great, as long as you're not really far behind. It could go even worse. I wouldn't play it as an opener because it can be countered too quickly if the Protoss is aware of it. If you have 14 Mutas out of the dark, it could be that you just win the game right away. So, Parting's Nexus almost finished. Cybernetics Core is going for Warp Intake. And there's the Stargate. Alright. We finally have a normal match. Okay. Where's the Scouting Adept? Usually it's shading around a little bit and checking at the natural how many drones are working here. If it's less than 7 on the 4-minute mark, you know, okay, he's marking links and he's going towards you. But as you can see, we already have a third base coming up, so Solar won't be too aggressive here. At this point, Parting is the one who makes the move, while Solar wants to drone as much as possible while producing as little army as possible. So he's still on 4 links, so he needs to fight back with the screens mostly. And the scouting is done by this Overlord. And he sees the Stargate, nothing unusual, but there's a Void Ray in production, so this will be the last seconds of this Overlord. And after this Overlord is out of the play, Parting can decide whether he's going into more Stargate tech, or if he's going for a switch, going for a Robo, even going for a Twilight Council again, or just having a third base, which seems to be the case. He's going for an Oracle. Even if there's a Spore, you usually get a couple of drone kills and have a look on the enemy base with those fast units is always handy. You need those scouting information. If you don't have a Robo, you have no real sufficient art of scouting. You could use sentries and Phoenix Illusions, but if you would like to not have that gas into sentries, the Oracle is one of the best ways to do that. Alright, second Stargate coming up on the Protoss side, while we're having roaches here from Solar. He could go for a very aggressive move, since he saw one Stargate and he didn't really see any ground army yet. It might be that he's anticipating that there are more air units to come, and he could punish it with a huge Ling Roach Queen attack. That would be an all-in, and it can go wrong, but we often hit the Protoss in a stage where he is not very strong, not enough air units and no upgrades on the ground. And with all those queens and transfuses, you usually have a very sufficient tanking wall, because queens have psionic armor. They basically, you build an army that Void Rays cannot kill. You have queens, no bonus damage. You have links, no bonus damage, and they're so fast. If there's any opening in the wall, you just lose a Nexus and 20 probes easily. But to not make that happen, Parting has 8 adepts, no upgrades for those bad boys. Oh, and look at this. That slow field is so crazy. But it might come in handy. Imagine a couple of links are chasing those. Okay, that was the check for the gold base, not taken yet by Solar. Oh, he's not shading through. You don't want to shade in like 20 links with queens nearby. So he's always trying to harass at the gas to go from the side. Using a couple of adepts is fine, and we see the Spire! We see the Spire! There might be mutas coming in, and this is what I talked about. Half of the links don't even reach the adepts. Roaches now, well, kind of bigger problem. They don't really kill the adepts quick, but they tank a lot of damage. So we have double Void Ray production on Parting Does he know about the Spire?
Face the enemy.
I guess he was trying to kill a queen here, but the other ladies were fast enough to transfuse them and not lose a queen there. Charge at +1. +1 is good. The Spire's in the 3rd. Alright, so that basically means Parting has no way of scouting that. He's probably assuming, okay, there's a gold base, and there will be a Ling Roach attack. But, oh my god. 12 meters, and +1 flyer attacks. Okay, we have a Templar archive, almost finished. That means Archons and High Templars, at the first time, without Storm, are closed to be built. Archons, for example, are a real punisher for the Zerg. They deal bonus damage versus biological. And all the Zerg has is biological. It's very easy now. Beautiful harassment by Parting. He knows there is a gold base. He had that with the revelation of the Oracle. At least killing a couple of drones and forcing all the queens to stand here is a good thing. But the meter is already hitting the base, and I think they're hidden to this point. We have a +1 fly attacks coming up on Parting, and here we are. Here are the meters. Oh, look at the probe kills. 3rd, 5, 2 Phoenix are killed right away, but those meters already shredded like 17 probes. Okay, those Void Rays doing a great job defending those meters. He killed 4 already, but the damage has already been done. Parting himself is trying to get this gold base running. Now this is a match. Those roaches might need to back up. They have speed, so they will be faster than the Archon. Probably he will be focusing one of them down. Yes, he gets it. And then he's backing up. But he's shoving in all those queens and roaches side by side. With the first Phoenixes, it might be very problematic to keep those Needleless alive. Just 4 are left. Well, guess what? More than 13 Ravagers at once. So he wants to get this gold base out of his face. Look at the income. Solar. 3k mins per minute. And those side temps sadly can just feedback the queens. They deal damage with that and make sure they cannot transfuse each other as hard as they usually do. But afterwards, they are useless. You can just morph Archons from them. And those are an easy target for the Ravagers. Oh, Parting's shield battery overcharge is used, but he is kind of fighting out of the range. Not really the perfect position there for him. There's 2nd and the 3rd shield battery, even 2 cannons, but he's still fighting outside of that range. Trying to slow down Solar's push as much as possible. Oh, they were fighting in the main. I guess he warped into Stalkers there to get rid of those. Can he hold his 3rd base now? This is crucial. If he's holding this fight by any means, there is a chance of winning it. He has 8 gateways, but the Void Ray numbers are going down while we still have 14 queens on the map. The probes are now in danger. Beautiful corrosive fire right on top of those Void Rays. No chance for Parting to hold this. Solar is taking map number 3. Map number 3. He is leading with 1 map advantage. He's playing for Kindly Gaming. His name is Solar. Bottom right hand side. This is his opponent. He needs to step up his game now. Can he fight back? Can he even out this series again? Parting spawning on bottom right hand side in the blue. Until this point, he never had the lead in this series. He was always, even on his back foot. He needs to be smarter to fight Solar this day. Was that dog microing? it kind of looked like a stutter step. Sorry. Sometimes I'm like a goldfish. I get distracted by. Oh wow. It can happen. If that happens in a fight, I'm very sorry. Alright, so we see the aggressive hatchery positioning again. This would be the normal hatchery. But, yeah, Solar plays different. So what we've seen out of parting, we saw a full Stargate commitment. We saw Twilight Council 2 times. One time with DT, one time with Resonating Glaives. The DT opener kind of worked, so he might be doing that as well. Probably we can see a Stargate and transition into Robo units. Resonating Glaives all in is still on the menu, probably. We will be finding that out quite soon. As soon as the Cybernetics core is finished, I'm pretty sure we know what's going on. Small trivia. When I first met Parting, it was Home Story Cup 10 in 2015? I know, I'm old. I'm 33 years old and that was so good. We had this nightclub booked for us, like with 1,000 nerds in there. And Parting in the end won that tournament. It was so great because in this location there was an indoor pool, and he jumped it with Take, with Rotterdam. I cannot remember who was there as well. The atmosphere was so crazy, and afterwards we were partying together, and there was one moment we didn't know, because Parting was like a machine. He was scanning parting, and at one point I cannot remember if he was still saying parting or party. It's kind of like the same word. I kind of missed the energy of that evening. It was sometimes you're just lost in the moment. I hope you have those feelings from time to time as well. Look at this. He is doing it again. Twilight Council, Dark Shrine, Robotics Facility coming up. And we, on the other side, we have Zerg that doesn't know what's coming towards him. Will this be working again? Remember, on the second map, Solar had the problem that he was going for roaches, but his lair was super late while the spores were not in place when the Dark Templars came. He was saving money, so to say, and was just building one spore at a time. If Parting is microing his warp prism again like that, I see bad times for Solar. So good times for us, because it would mean we have a 5th map. I love best of 5 on full length. Okay, second spore, the one in the natural is finished, so like this space he will be having vision. But what's always more important is to have queens sufficiently harassing that warp prism, make sure that it's very low in HP and there's a potential of losing it. So this is Party coming. We are in the vision of Solar. Very good defensive. Roaches and Lings are fast enough there. Yeah, there's no way getting in there. The pilots are doing a beautiful job in and blocking off, so the surface attack area for the Lynx is so limited, it's just worthless to go in there. So how much damage can Parting deal with this, with these DTs? He needs to deal a little bit of damage, or at least slow down Solar by a little bit. Or at least forcing him to stay on his side of the map is already a good thing, because that means Parting can get up his 3rd. He can get probes over there and extend his mining and make sure he has a way into the mid and late game. Because the early, I will call it over by now, because we have the first overseer coming up, so the time for DTs is gone by as well. This might be the last time he can get any value out of those. You can still make Archons out of them, which is fine. Oh, one is saved, the others two is two as well. And so far, Parting didn't lose anything. So far, this is the perfect Protoss game. But I'm pretty sure it will not stay like this. The defensive position here is astonishingly good. Roaches and Ravagers are built out. We have the +1 for range attack on the Zerg side. No Terror plays yet. It's one Evo play so far. Oh. Those TTs are... They're simply not dying. We missed a couple of kills. He even killed a couple of creep tumors, which is slowing down Solar's creep spread by a lot. Because this drains energy from the queens. And he has to start over with those tumors. It needs time to bring it into the ground. And again, he saves the Dark Temples by dealing huge amount of damage to this hatchery. Even if it will be finished, it will be on half HP. And he's still hungry for damage. Again, saving that Dark Templar, killing the hatchery. No cards on here. The money is gone. Parting just lost a hatchery. What? Solar just lost a hatchery while Parting is pushing from the other side, man. Look at the supply. 100 army supply versus 55. I don't care if it's Blink Stalkers with +1. This is a hard push to hold. Look at this army. Yeah, those adapts can really do big harm to Solar. He needs to deal real big damage here. He needs to take out the Nexus and at best the army as well. He's corrosive barring the shield batteries out of the life. So overcharge would be ready, but there's no shield battery anymore. Nicely done. He's not being caught in those force fields now. He might be struggling a little bit. Stalkers did a good job versus Roaches. And Parting really holds this with a beautiful micro. Overseer is gone, so Dark Templars are uncounted now. 2 did go down, and this is the main problem with the Roach attack, which isn't going like you planned it to, because Blinkstalkers will just chase you down and make sure you lose even more. Wow. Okay, now the Stalkers are getting a little bit overwhelmed. On the way out, A at least gets an overshield. Main thing here, the third base of Parting is still standing. Solar committed so much resources on this push. And look at the trade. It kind of looks fine. But the fourth base of Solar just did come up. So he is behind by a lot. This base should have been up for 2 minutes now. Would have been in a position with 85 drones by now, and with a very, very much boosted economy. That is not there because he committed to this fight. So the opening of Parting was perfect. If he can get up this fourth base without losing too much, because we will be having Banelings with speed quite soon. So they have 35 HP, they move a lot faster, and probes are one-shot. This is the main problem with Banelings versus Protoss. If he makes sure to hit the economy like once or two, this could already be enough. I will have a couple of Banelings on the left-hand side. Being morphed, almost being finished, the slide of probes just arrived at the fourth base. Meanwhile, we're having the main fight in the mid of the map. And this is a huge distracting point for Parting. Is he fast enough? There is just one cannon. Meanwhile, the main engagement goes up, and he gets a couple of probes, and he harms the defensive position in this base as well, because there's no shield battery anymore. $104 army supply. But 2-0 is finished on Parting's side. He has a couple of Archons, and that shield battery overcharge is keeping his Archons alive. Now the army of Berserk is caught in between the sheets, and Parting is just moving the Archons to the front to deal as much damage as possible. The Stalkers are kind of fighting the swarming in Lings, and problem is it's not a huge ball of Lings. He can just fight it, blink back, And he has a secondary blink with a warp prison. He just shattered the army of Solar. It disappeared. Nobody knows where it did go. But now there's nothing to defend. There's no lava left. He's just producing 5 roaches and a Ravager. 14 links. They will be too late. Even an Immortal is in the mix and dealing a lot of harm to those roaches. Parting and making it possible. We have a 2-2. We will be seeing a 5th map between those two. Parting took back the momentum from him. And he did that 2 times with a DT opener. 2 times Twilight Council, Dark Shrine, Warp Prison. Is that the weak point of Solar? Because he's so focused on macro, on not spending money for spores, to have as much income as... Oh my god. Get the popcorn ready, guys. That's a Forge first, and this will be a cannon rush. That's a classic strategy we've seen for years, for decades almost. So this is not only a scouting probe to make sure to know what is going on. He will try to place down a pylon up there. Yeah, Parting knows. A drone's already on the bottom, on the lower ground to block this, but he is kind of too late. Parting is losing the space probably here. He just needs to throw down 1 cannon and probably he can build another pylon in that space. I don't know if there's enough. Solar is immediately pulling drones. He will kill the 1 pylon, but there is not enough surface area to really sufficient attack that cannon. And there's a second probe coming in, and since the pylon is up here, you can power the cannons on the lower ground. So either this cannon will be dealing a lot of damage, or those. Solar could expand somewhere else, which would be very exposed to another cannon rush then. First cannon is ready, and it still has 93 HP, so nothing the drones can kill very easily. So this hedge is almost dead. The probe is kind of built in there, which is sad because he cannot use it anymore. And he needs the cannon to... Oh wow. Are the drones... No, he could rally them up. But... Is this over? Another probe coming in. He needs to kill that! Oh, the creepers are everywhere. Oh. Alright. It's already losing probes. He did build a spine, which is really good. So sadly there's no shield battery, so this cannon is on its own, and if that goes down, does Parting have tag? There's a gateway, there's a cybernetics core, it's all very late. I feel like he didn't deal enough damage, it's GG! So that's just countering this cannon rush. What in the world just happened here?